Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video, and this is round 4 of the Nebula Racing League here on rFactor, and this is round 4 of the championship at the Hockenheim in Germany, and one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. I didn't race here last year because I wasn't available for this race. I was occupied, so this is my first time on this track, and I've got to say I really am enjoying it. This track was absolutely fantastic to drive, and it really was just a really rewarding and satisfactory track to drive, especially when you hooked up the lap. And speaking of hooking up the lap, obviously we've just come out of qualifying, and I can tell you that the top 5, so to speak, is Kieran Chadwick, Sam Carpenter, myself, then Callum Knighton behind me, and then Craig Baxter, defending champion, in 5th place. And overall, this top 5 is probably the most competitive it could be. Also, Max Shepard in 6th there in the sister Ferrari, and just a very competitive sharp end of the field here. The only person you could say would be missing is Callum's teammate Philip Kraus, who qualified a bit further back in the sister McLaren. But overall, the most competitive guys are at the front of the grid, and it's going to make for a very tasty race. And I can tell you that I believe most people are starting on the super softs here, and the tyres for this race are the supers, the softs, and the mediums. So as you can see, the last people at the back of the grid are just lining up in their grid slot. But here we go. We're starting on P3 on the racing line, and the red lights come on now, and we're going to wait to get underway here at the German Grand Prix, and the race is underway as the lights go green for 34 laps here of the German Grand Prix. We get a pretty good start off the line here, but Sam gives us a little bit of a squeeze onto the outside, which makes you go around the AstroTurf and around the curb and actually lose a position to Cal. So a pretty poor start so far, losing one position, nothing major there, just me pretty much putting my car in a bit of a dodgy place, and obviously Sam didn't really see me in his blind spot. So a bit of a poor start there, but nevertheless we're going to continue on, and it could have been a lot worse. I believe it's been contact behind, but at the moment, as you can see, Kieran being slipstreamed on this massive straight by everybody as we make our way into the hairpin, into the braking zone now, and it looks like everyone's going to go through single file through here at the moment, and right on the back of Cal actually. I get a little bit of a tank slapper on the exit, which doesn't help matters, and overall, pretty good start to this race. Obviously kept out of any major incidents, which is crucial. And moving a couple of laps later on in the race, Kieran actually really started to put his foot down and bring up the pace, and therefore Sam followed him. But unfortunately, I felt like Cal wasn't really following with the pace, so it was getting to that point where I was starting to line Cal up for a move, because I really did not want Sam or Kieran to get away, because I felt like I had the pace to win the race. So I was just already starting to plot a move on Cal, possibly trying to overtake him. And on lap 3, I made a little bit of an attempt there, as you just saw, and moving later on onto lap 8, this was the lap where I really had to just make the move stick. We both run wide on turn 1. I just about managed to keep it on the black stuff and not spin or anything. But as you can see, Sam and Kieran in the background have completely gone already, so they've really started to just pull away. And I've probably left this a little bit late because the tyres are coming towards the end of their lifespan. But we're going to try and make a move on Cal. As you can see, that there's no DRS in this mod, so this is simply slipstream. So what I've done is I've turned the wick up on the engine to the full beans, and we're going to go up the inside here of Cal, my former teammate from last season, and we're going to take him up the inside of the hairpin here. We're going to give him a little bit of a squeeze on the exit to make sure that he doesn't get back alongside us here. But as you can see, Cal's got a great exit. He's literally sitting on my monkey seat as we make our way through the little kink here, and Cal's going to go for the move up the inside, I think, and yes he does. He goes for it a little bit late on the brakes there. Side by side action, no contact, keeping it nice and clean so far. But I'm going to take the racing line up the inside of this right hander, and I can tell you there was actually a little bit of contact there, but speaking to Cal after the race, it was nothing wrong. It was just a little bit of a racing incident, and if anything, Cal said himself that he could have actually given me a bit more room. But that was the move done, and that's up in the P3. And meanwhile, at the end of that lap, Kieran was actually the race leader, coming in for his first stop of the race. So race leader Kieran Chadwick obviously feeling that the super softs were starting to go off a little bit, so he felt the need to change tyres and move on to a set of white wall mediums. So he's going on to the slowest tyre, and he's going to be quite slow this stint. So I don't know how he's going to make the undercut work by staying ahead when he's on a very slow tyre, but we'll have to wait and see, as now on the end of lap 9, me and Sam respond to Kieran's pit stop and come in for our first stop of the race, and we will both be also going onto the medium tyres. This is where the race could be won or lost, because I actually get a really good pit stop here, getting really late on the brakes, but unfortunately I have to get held up by the Ferrari there. I think Craig Baxter or Max Shepard, I'm not sure who it was, but I get held up by the Ferrari because I was going to pull out, but I just had to wait because I saw him coming in my mirrors, so I had to just wait like another second in the pit box. And as you can see, Sam has pulled away, so I've lost a bit more time to Sam and Kieran, which isn't great. But overall, not too bad. And I've rejoined here, and as you see, I've got the manner of Adam Bozuita, I believe, right behind me on those very warm super softs. So his tyres are nice up to temperature, and it's a pretty faster tyre than what mine is, and he's going to slipstream me all the way down this back straight. So Adam could possibly line me up for a move here, and I've got to be worried of that. As you can see, here he's gaining quite a lot in that manner, and is he going to go for the move up the inside? He's late on the brakes, and he doesn't make the move stick though. So I'm going to stay ahead of him for the time being, and Adam cannot make the move there. And hopefully now I can find my pace on these mediums and pull away. So As you can see, we skipped all the way on to lap 20, and what happened was basically I was gaining on Sam up until about halfway through the stint, but then Sam all of a sudden decided to put the pedal down and really press hard, and he was actually the first one off the top 3 to pit this time round. So he pushed really hard, used his mediums up, and then he decided to go into a set of softs and take these tyres about 13 laps to the end of the race. So bit of a different strategy there from Sam. He's trying to undercut Kieran, the race leader, because he was gaining a lot of time on him, and he thought he could maybe win this race. And meanwhile, me and Kieran respond the very next lap at the end of lap 21 onto lap 22, and it's going to be a pistol battle once again. Hopefully this time I don't get held up by anybody, and I'm going to come in for a set of yellow wall soft tyres. As you can see, getting off the jack now, underway, and Kieran's just there up ahead on the road, and Sam's just passing by right about now, so it's going to be quite close between those two. I feel like those two could have a battle, because the only way I'm going to get something out of this race is if Sam or Kieran have a little bit of a battle. And speaking of having a battle, a couple of laps later, as you can see, Sam and Kieran are getting really close to each other now, and Sam is starting to launch an attack on Kieran, and as you can see, Sam gets a pretty decent exit out the hairpin, which is really giving them some nice slipstream down this little kick now into the left hand. And is he going to go for a move up the other side of Kieran into the Mercedes-Benz grandstand? And yes, he does. Side by side action here, very similar to what me and Cal did right at the start of the race, and Kieran's going to hold on to the position for the time being, but ideally for me, the more these two battle, the better, because I can gain time on them. Because I can say personally, I felt I was the fastest guy on track at this point, and I was really starting to gain on these two, but unfortunately they wasn't losing enough time. I needed a little bit of an incident or something, or a close shave, but it just wasn't happening. But meanwhile, as you can see, Sam once again on the attack and passing Kieran before the hairpin, but Kieran's just going to get super late on the brakes and launch it straight back up the inside of the hairpin. Fantastic late braking there from Kieran, really good stuff from him, and that actually keeps him ahead of Sam for the time being. But as you can see, he's only just ahead of him, and Sam's probably going to go for the same thing as he did a lap ago. And is he going to launch up the inside here? Yes, he does. A little bit of contact there. Sam's front, like the front of his car, actually lifted off the ground, so a little bit of contact between the two of them. No room there for Sam to go through, and that is going to be a little bit damage for him. But unfortunately, it still wasn't enough. And we move on to the final lap of the race, and Kieran actually went on to win the race with Sam in second. As you can see, they're just ahead of me there, and I'm going to come through the final corner in third place on the soft tyre. And pretty much nothing I could do that race. I was literally the fastest guy on track, I felt, that entire race, but I stayed behind Cal way too long at the start in the first stint, and I just overall felt like I was fastest, but my laps were like only a tenth or so faster. I was barely quickest. Craig Baxter actually took the fastest lap though, speaking of being the quickest driver on track. And as you can see, look at the fastest laps there between me, Kieran and Sam. So close, but at the end of it, Cal actually takes fourth place behind the 3 podium finishes. Mac finishes ahead of his teammate Craig Baxter, who had a bit of a scruffy race with some incidents. So a very interesting order there, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. It's not been the best race of the season. I definitely think it was the most boring one, but hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, then please do leave a like on the video, and if you're new out here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video very soon. Goodbye.